Hello and welcome back to my workshop. My name is Robert. For today's video, a bit more sharpening. I bought a 5/8 inch reamer to do another job for a project that I'll be showing starting next week. And this reamer arrived without a lead ground on the end of it, so it won't cut very well. So I'm going to be putting that lead on the reamer today. Apologies for the trigonometry in the middle. It's a bit of a garbled explanation, but I had to work it out for myself, so I thought I'd share it. So if you don't like it, I'm sorry, please feel free to fast forward over it. Okay, let's get on with it. So for today's video, I'm going to sharpen this little tool. Now I acquired this because I need it for another project that I'm doing. I've given this Morse 2 taper a bit of a clean up, but on inspecting the ends there's no lead on the end, it's just square, and I want a little lead on the end of each flute to help it cut and give a better finish. So today I'm going to be sharpening this. I'm going to be sharpening this reamer on my little Union tool and cutter grinder, making use of the diamond wheel that I installed in the last video. It's not perfect, but I have tried sharpening a drill with it and it seems to work okay, although I'll probably get back to it and try and improve things. So we'll be sharpening this between centres. There's a centre hole in the end, each end, which I've cleaned out. The whole table is rotated to give us the desired lead angle on the end of the reamer, and we rotate it in order to give us the clearance angle. Now, because the table is going to be, in this case it's going to be at 45 degrees because I'm going to put a 45-degree lead on it, the angle that we rotate the reamer to give us the clearance will not result in the same angle on the lead at the end. For those of you that would like to know how you relate the two, I'll go through the maths. For the rest of you, I'll fast forward to the actual grinding. Time to fast forward if you're not into trigonometry and you don't want to know. What we have are three angles marked on here: alpha, theta and beta. Alpha is the angle which we have rotated the reamer. Theta is the angle which we have turned the whole table around. And beta is the angle that we're actually going to get as a relief angle on the end of the reamer. So here we are back in the classroom. This is our angle alpha here, which gives us a constant plane along here. Now, if we were to grind the flutes at 90, keep the reamer at 90 degrees, keep the table at 90 degrees, this is the angle that we would get. But we have now rotated the table on the tool and cutter grinder, so we're now actually going to achieve this angle. This height of this line along here is constant because it's just perpendicular to the angle of rotation. This height here, this height here are the same. This length here and this length here are the same. This length here is length R, as is this one. So the distance from here to here is going to be R times the cosine of theta. This distance here is this length here times the sine of this angle alpha here. So this height is r times cos theta times sine of alpha. That height is the same as this height, and this height is r times sine of beta. So that equals r times sine of beta. So we can cancel out the r's, and what we're left with is sine of beta equals cos theta times sine alpha. So to work out the angle that we're going to get, we plumb in 10 degrees into alpha, we plumb in 45 degrees into theta, multiply them together, take the arc sine of that, and you work out that you end up with about 7 degrees, give or take a few tenths of a degree. So a rotation of 10 degrees on the reamer will give us a clearance angle of 7 degrees. So in order to set the reamer up to get the right grind angle, I have my height gauge here. This surface here is exactly on the centre height of these centres. So I will place it underneath one of the teeth, and I'll bring you round for a better look so you can see exactly where that is. This is one view of it. You can see the height gauge is just underneath the corner of the flute, just there, and the reamer can be rotated to stop against it, and that gives us our sort of 0 degree reference. If you grind that corner, that edge at this setting, you'll have 0 degrees relief. And this is another view of it. You can see the flute just goes down against the height gauge and stops there. At this point, we're going to move to the other end of the reamer where the angle setting attachment is. So this is the angle setting gauge that we use to set the relief angle that we're going to grind. At the other end of the reamer, at the business end that we're going to grind, the height gauge is sat just underneath the flute. So now what we can do is we can lock the reamer in that orientation on the angle gauge. Now this has got degree markings on the top, and we can use this now to rotate the reamer a predetermined number of degrees, which will give us the relief we want. I've just used an aluminium spacer block here just because the clamp here won't actually go in tight enough to clamp on the reamer directly. So at the moment I've got this on 0 degrees, and the end of the flute is sat on the height gauge. So I remove the height gauge, and now we can undo the locking screw just down here, and we can rotate the whole thing the number of degrees we want to rotate. Now, because of the orientation of the flute, that is, the cutting flute is pointing downwards on the back side, we need to rotate this way. If the flute were facing upwards, we would need to rotate this way to give us our positive clearance angle. And I'm going to rotate that round to 10 degrees. So we're going to rotate the whole table round by 45 degrees, which is something like about that. There's a scale on the side round here, and we can lock this down. So now, if I bring in the height gauge a minute, you'll see that this flute, which we originally set on 0, is now rotated around. That's the flute that we need to put this finger underneath. So I'll get it just back from the edge, about there. Pressed up underneath in the flute, nice and tight. It's always a good idea to put any sort of indexing finger on the flute itself that you want to grind, not on the next one to it or the one before it. If they're not exactly equally spaced, you'll get some funny results from it. The recommendation from the Union Tool and Cutter Grinder Handbook is that this should be within a 32nd of an inch of where you're trying to grind. So now that the finger is in place supporting the flute where we want it, the angle gauge's work is done. We can release that, move that away. So the reamer is now free to rotate. This is a piece of ground up hacksaw blade. Makes very good indexing fingers for this sort of thing. The springiness means that you can quite happily rotate it from one to the next. First things first, I'm going to move the guard out of the way a little bit. This guard is not strictly necessary for the diamond wheel because it's not a vitrified wheel. It's not going to explode on me, it's a piece of steel, but nevertheless it's quite good as it makes sure that the dust will tend to go straight down rather than heading for me and my lungs. So this is the view I'm looking at. Just trying to make sure that the flute that we're going to grind here is about on centre of the wheel. We can bring this out and now feed along and make sure that that's where we're going to grind. Next thing that the manual will tell you to do, don't forget about it, is to move the table into the point the furthest travel towards the wheel and then set a stop on the table travel. Otherwise you'll end up grinding your centres and that won't end well. Snip that up. So now I'm about 2 millimeters clear of the centre here. Right, we're ready to go. I will have the wheel rotating counterclockwise so that it's pushing the reamer down onto the finger. We'll touch off and we'll start chewing away at it. So let's throw on a bit of cut. Zero my dial. More cut. I'm going 0.1 millimeters at a time. those last few rotations were just to clean up the end, try and remove any grinding marks. Well, that's it. That's the lead ground on there. So there we are. One Reamer sharpened. It performed perfectly well, produced a very nice clean hole. I used it to make a belt tensioner for this esoteric lathe here. But I'll get to this in next week's video. So, hope you tune in for that. Thanks for watching.